big dog?
Player's gotta play.
What's up, home dog? Player's gotta play.
Player's gotta play.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the memo, right, Nick? Glasses, hair parted to the side. We're good.
Yeah, man. You and I have been following each other for years.
I gotta put my hoodie on though.
Remember when we did the bulb thing?
That's your one.
Wow,
You have no idea how much I follow you, dude.
you look up fib in the dictionary, there's
We're
YouTube.
out there jogging. Look at that setup you got. Is that your jam room?
That's my dining room, dude.
Now, do you know Pete? Have you met Pete before?
I have not. You look familiar, but I have not. You know.
Pleasure. And then we got Bongo Mike.
Hey, there I am.
Damn, Bongo, you look like you're seeing a ghost or something, man.
Wow, I got all
Is you all lit up when you jumped on?
Wow. It's the sun. What's up, Todd?
Hey, how you doing? I haven't met Mike yet. Not Mike, but Mike Dermont. The famous. He's famous.
Very
Famous for what? My fried chicken? Mike Dermont's famous fried chicken?
I don't know. I see you all over Facebook, and you're doing all this great stuff with how do you pronounce it? Coterie?
Close enough. Coterie, cooter, charcuterie board.
Cooter. Okay.
Cooter.
You're doing some great stuff over there, though.
Thank you. I appreciate that. No, Todd, it's very nice to meet you. I'm glad you could join us. And I asked a special guest, a good friend of mine, Mr. Nick Cox from the band Seventh Heaven, to join us today, because I'm always talking about our podcast. And he's like, dude, I want to get on there sometime. I'm like, you got an invitation. You're coming on this Monday, and we're going to interview Todd Lazar.
That's awesome.
That's a big deal.
How are you, Todd? It's Bongo Mike. Was it Mike?
Bongo Mike. Yep.
Yes.
That's me over here somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, you're there. So Bongo Mike is a bongo player. He's a percussionist. He's not a drummer. He's a percussionist.
The chiropractor.
He's one of those.
Chiropractor.
Yeah.
He's got so many things going on. But I met Bongo Mike through the Coterie, doing some events. He plays everything that doesn't require drumsticks. So he does the washboard, he does the congas, the cajones, the everything.
Bongo Mike was playing the cajones.
He plays with his cajones, and he's like in four different projects, Nick. And he's been part of the music scene for a long time. And I know this group. I mean, this is kind of like a new thing for everybody, right? I've never met Terry or Todd. Todd hasn't met me. You guys,
right.
I don't think anybody here's met Nick Cox. So why don't we go a little bit around the room and have Pete get us started, man?
I am Pete Jansen's first-time caller, long-time listener,
listener. Love your show.
Podcast video editor over at Glorified. Glad to have you all on board.
Bongo Mike here. So I am right now part of 5 bands. I don't know how that happened.
5.
But
you can't say no. That's how.
I cannot say no.
He's worth cheap. That's why.
Yeah. So I actually play with Todd in 3 of those projects. We do the Black Diamond sessions. I am a part of the Derrick, Procell, and the All-Star Mojo band when they have room for me, you know. And then I'm also a part of Soundtracks of a Generation, which Todd is a part of as well. And then, of course, the Mosquitos, and most recently, Earthshine. The Earthshine band.
When did that happen?
Earthshine, yeah, it happened last week, Pete. So Earthshine is Mike, and Mike, and Chris. So it's literally four guys named Mike, and then a Chris Rhodes playing drums. And it's a newly formed, that's Mike O'Brien or Mojo, and Mike Ostranga and Mike Good on guitar. And, you know, right now it's some original material and some cover stuff that we're doing.
I'm Nick Cox, I guess, right? I don't know. I mean,
take it, man.
I'm just a dude here. I'm a guitar player in Seventh Heaven, singer guy, and I've been with them forever. I think we're going on, professionally since 2008. They've been together. Rich, the boss, in 85. I didn't join them until 90, and then I was in and out. I had kids, I had a job, I had work. Yeah. And in 2008, he says, hey, you know, these festivals are happening, and I think we'll probably do something I was in printing. I'm like, all right, I think I'll take the dive. So then I did, and he got the income to where it was, and I never looked back. So it's, I don't know, 18, 19 years doing that with Seventh Heaven. I was in a band Cutlass years ago. And
original band Cutlass.
Original band. Yeah, we all stem from original band. Even Seventh Heavens. Every year we have an original album. It's always been an original band. And I was in, I don't know if you guys know Pete Greco. That's when he was in the Lounge Puppets, and he's also got
LP vinyl.
He's been in the scene a while. He took me into the scene from low scale bars, into the Thirsty Whale scene. And that was it. That was a band called Theater. And
what you got coming up? What gigs? Because I know you don't need any help with your band, to get people to show up. But I'm just saying.
Well, I need help remembering because I usually look around Thursday, Friday when my gigs are. They're not that bad now. We just have some corporate shows. We've been doing cruises lately.
What?
And, we had 3. We do this Chicago music cruise every year. Actually, we did 3. It's usually 1 a year. It started out as a Seventh Heaven cruise, and then we decided to branch it off with NTD Records, which is my label, and he's also got the travel agency, and he's got everything going on. So it's been kind of like this whole ball of thing that we do. And then we turned it into Chicago Music Cruise. And then we invite bands to come with us if they want to do that. And they find it fair. They can, do what is expected of them. And then we do these cruises. We did a 3-day cruise. I think it was in November. And then in March we did a 3-day cruise. And then in November, we did a week cruise. And then in January, we've done so much traveling. I'm dizzy. We do a lot of cruises. Well, 3 this
I think we need to get the pod to get out on that cruise, man. The Chicago music scene cruise and pod.
I just need Tony Ocean. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tony Ocean.
Oh yeah.
He was on it because he was on the cruise with us actually the last 3 times. Last year I didn't make it. I had kidney stones. I was giving birth to like a centimeter. As I get older, there's this thing. It's called water that I need to drink. So I missed that cruise, but Ocean was on that, and now I'm back on it with Ocean. And he did he does like a podcast thing that he does, and he did it every morning at sunrise. So it's pretty cool.
I could pull a tube behind the boat. I wouldn't mind that.
We'll do it up and down the Fox River. It'll be the HOGPOD River cruise.
Oh, yeah. Say that.
Go on the Oasis on the lake. This is a great cruise.
And then Todd, I lost track. What do you? How many bands are you in, and what do you got coming up?
Well, I'll just tell you what I got going through April through May. So this week we're debuting our show, The Revelator, with the Tedeschi Trucks tribute band at the Lyric Theater. I'm very excited about that, and I think Sophie and Zach are going to join us. In beginning of May, I'm playing with the Soul Commitments, which is the Soundtracks gig. And then I'm playing with Johnny Martinez, which is his band Somatic. And then Bongo Mike and I are playing at the Rouse Center with Derrick Procell. Then after that, I'm playing with Zach Avery at the House of Blues. After that, I'm playing with somebody you guys know, Nick Bell, at Broken Oar.
Very cool.
On the 24th. And then on the 25th, the Black Diamond has a gig. And then the week after, I'm playing with Mitch DeLip and Side Hustle. So that's takes me through May.
Todd, you do music for a living then?
No, I have a day gig too.
Okay, cool.
I go 24 hours.
Todd Lazar. I met Todd Lazar probably, I don't know, 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I don't even remember. I think Harvey Blender is the one who introduced us.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, it was a while. I mean, what was the place that used to be the alley in Highwood that when it converted?
210?
Yeah, we were at 210 and he introduced us. And then I didn't start jamming with you probably till about maybe 3 years ago, maybe something like that. I kind of lose track. But all you need to know about Todd Lazar is he is a monster bass player. Think about this. Nick Bell is coming into town and he chose Todd Lazar instead of Big Love to come play with him. Think about that.
Right. I was going to ask what instrument you played, Todd. I apologize because, as you said, we've never met. I've seen you on Facebook. You said
Right.
you saw me, but if they would have asked me what instrument, you came across as a keyboardist at first. So bass, man, that's awesome.
It's a fun instrument, that's for sure.
It is. No, and
Yeah.
it's great that you're playing with Nick. I know that Big Love is a fantastic bass player. I try to catch Nick every time he comes back into town. Of course, he's down in Florida. When I'm down in Florida, my wife and I have a place there. We try to run into him down there. He's got some music things going on there. Is Big Love now? Big Love had some health issues. Is that
You know,
what's going on? You don't know,
Nick just texted me last week
right?
and he's like, "Can you fill in for this gig?" You know, he sends me like 30 songs. I like to be able to rehearse before I play, you know,
No
Deep
chance of that.
Purple and all that. You know, basically I'm gonna have to rehearse, look at live video and stuff like that, and see what they do. And he does different versions, so it's gonna be a little bit tricky, but you know, I love that shit. It'd be fun playing with Dave Mills, you know.
Great drummer.
It's usually my gig. My gig is learning a lot of stuff, and then
But I mean, it's the blues. You really just, I mean, for the most part, it's the blues, right? 80%
well,
blues.
he does, you know, he does Black Sabbath, he does.
Did you just say it's only the
Scorpions.
blues, dude?
No, yeah, I did. I was gonna say no. I was
Deep Purple's
what I
not
was gonna
blues.
say.
It's like pasta. You're
Blues,
gonna have
you
water.
can just go and start doing your thing, and it just becomes a big jam. Is where I was gonna go with
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, Deep Purple's pretty, you know. I mean, you gotta.
Well, Deep
definitely
Purple's
do that
blues,
shit.
man.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm just totally kidding. I've jammed with Nick Bell a few times, man. It's fun stuff, and you're right, it is because when he does, you know, that you mentioned the Deep Purple and stuff. I mean, that's crazy, and it does. It goes off on its own. So you got to kind of learn Nick's style of what he's doing because he'll just let it go off the rails and go out of control. It's fun.
Well, he used to play with Black Diamond. He was the
Mhm.
original Black Diamond
Yeah.
guitar player before he moved. I played a couple of songs with him, but he's got a new list. You know, he's been down. He's even doing some Zach Brown now, I guess, and he's kind of stretching out a little bit since he went down south.
I was gonna say he's got that gator blood going through him now, man.
Exactly. So, but it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to the show. That's going to be a crazy weekend because House of Blues gig's going to go late, and that's an afternoon gig, and so it's going to be kind of a crazy weekend. Each gig's like 3 hours, so it's like 9 hours of music in 3 days, which is pretty intense for these fingers, you know.
Your hands are
right,
gonna
right.
fall off.
Is that it? Okay. See you guys.
That's it.
So Todd,
That's a great show. So we're gonna end this one. What do you
Gotta
do? And we're out.
So I know that Todd's excited about this coming Friday at the Lyric in Blue Island, and that's going to be the Revelator. Tell us about how that formed and some of the players before Zach and Sophie hop on here.
It started with one night I was out partying a little bit, and I was with Stacy, and we're just talking about the gigs I had. And I play a lot of tributes. I do Irish Heartbeat, I do Soul Commitments, Summer Love. I've sat in with the Chain, the Petty Kings. So I've done a lot of different tribute bands. I said they're fun, they're good, but what I really want to do is a Tedeschi Trucks tribute band. I love them. You know, you got the right amount of great songs and improvisation, and you can really change your show from gig to gig. You don't have to play the same stuff all the time. And then we were playing at the Vixen. We just happened to be playing at Vixen, and Sophie was on that gig, and Zach plays with Black Diamond. And I said, Sophie, you know what? This is what I'm thinking. You'd be perfect for it. And she was like, yeah. And then that was it. And I guess she felt like she didn't know if she can handle Susan Tedeschi. And Sophie's got a great voice. I knew she could. A couple months later, she texts me, and she's like, hey, you know that thing we're talking about at the Vixen? I want to do it. And Zach's on board, and it was just us three. Do you think Doug James will book us? Because we want to play theaters. We don't want it to be a bar band. We want to be something a little bigger than that. And so I called Doug. I had to convince Doug. So I tell Sophie. Sophie goes, can I call him? So she calls him. And by the time she was off phone call, we had our first gig at the Lyric, which is this Friday. And this was back in June. So this has been, and we didn't have a band. So we had to put a band together, and Sophie had some people in mind, and all professional dudes, guys that do full time. Brother John is one. I'm sure you guys know who Brother John is. So it took some time getting together because everybody's schedule is so busy. especially the horn section. These guys they're monsters, and they play like, I don't know,
Monsters.
they do a lot of corporate stuff, a lot of wedding stuff, so it's kind of hard to get them together, And so that, basically that's it. We practiced. We had a great sneak peek in Northfield, did an hour show, it was great stuff. And, we're really looking forward. This is going to be a killer show. It really is. If you guys ever see us around, it's really going to be a killer show. I'm really proud of this show.
You said you started working on selling this concept back in June of 2024, right?
Correct.
So you kind of sold ether, which is never easy to do, right? You're selling a concept, and you're going after, theaters, which most bands want to play that kind of stuff, right? I mean, clubs are fun, but when you get the theater,
hell no, I want to play on a cruise ship.
Yeah, okay. Well, we all can't be Seventh Heaven. Stop that.
While you're rocking.
That's right. While it's rocking. Talk about how you sold that, because I love Susan Tedeschi and Trucks. I think it's great music, but it's also one of those things, in my mind, it's an acquired taste, right? Especially, I would say, in the Chicagoland area. And educate me, because that's what we're here for, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got your tribute bands, you got your cover bands, that focus on 80, you got your pop bands, country's really big right now.
Mm-hmm.
How do you sell that concept to a place you've never been to? You don't have a band, and you're gonna bring people into that venue. What did you guys have to do to make that happen?
I think in this situation, I think the guy who books the Lyric, one, it was Doug James was booking us. And so we have a really good track record over there. He sells out a lot. I play with the Irish Heartbeat, and we've sold out 3 or 4 shows there. We did 2 shows, sold out over the weekend. So he has a really good track record there with his different bands. He has 18, I think, in his fold. That was an easier sell, but Ron Onesti is interested in booking us. In fact, there was a date, June 6th, that we couldn't do. Bongo Mike and I are playing. A couple other people had gigs. So we had a chance to play at the Displains Theater. Tedeschi Trucks, when they used to play here, had a residency in the winter time. And I think it was over 3 weekends. And they used to sell out all those shows.
Sure.
So there's a big fan base here.
Okay.
And now they only play maybe once a year here now. I think they're playing at the end of the summer here. This big fan base that's locally that loves Tedeschi Trucks, especially this band. When you see us, there's a lot of talent, and the singing's incredible. Sophie's just sings like a bird. She's amazing. And then we got this background singer, but Brother John sings background, Julian, the drummer, sings background. But Gracie, we have as a background singer. She's amazing. What a voice, a great energy. And so I think the show itself is going to sell itself, as just a show. It happens to be Tedeschi Truck, but I just think the show itself is going to really sell it.
Have you done any shows yet with this band yet? I can't remember if you said or not. So this is going to be the first show.
Yeah, we did a sneak peek, but we haven't done a show. We did a sneak peek at this event space in Northfield, which went really well. We only can invite about 100 people there. I think there was about 100 because of parking.
Any video that we could share on the podcast here to help?
Bongo Mike.
I went live, and now Facebook's got this weird thing.
30 day.
Yeah, it's like 30 days.
We have the video on YouTube, of Gravity and.
She made you believe. Must be the power of a big old heart. Woman's got gravity. Can't help yourself but be around her. She's everywhere you turn. She make it fly, lay you down low without a single word. She got gravity. You get knocked down, she puts you back on your knees. Get too high, she puts you back on your feet. You give up on love, she make you believe. she knows a man. She'll give you all you don't know you need until you understand. She can carry twice the load you can and bear twice the pain. Try to fight her if you want to. Do the same. She's got gravity. You get knocked down, she puts you back on your feet. Gravity. Get too high, she puts you back on your knees. If you give up on love, she'll make you believe. She's got gravity. You get knocked down, she puts you back on your feet. Gravity. You get too high, she puts you back on your knees. Gravity. You get knocked down, she puts you back on your feet. Gravity. You get too high, she puts you back on your knees. And if you give up on love, she'll make you believe.
the Guitar Exchange? Isn't that where Zach works?
Yeah, Chicago Music Exchange.
Chicago Music, yeah.
Yeah, that's. Have you guys been there? It's an awesome
cool.
place. You gotta go. Yeah, you gotta go. They have the coolest instruments there.
And they let you play Stairway?
Well, you know, it's
Well, they have
funny
a lot of
'cause-
vintage. Well, they have a lot of vintage stuff there. You know, actually, my brother's a lawyer, and his client Scott Silver actually started that. And he sold it. Now he just does vintage.
Mr. Cox, do you have any shows coming up this weekend?
I do. I was just looking at it.
They don't need any help.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
You know,
ridiculous.
it's funny. Seventh Heaven does like 200 shows a year.
It's more like 175.
Okay.
We're Friday and Saturday. We're at Dirty Nelly's, and we're at Base Camp.
Base Camp. I haven't been there in forever.
Yeah.
That's Lombard, right?
That is Lyle.
Lyle.
And Dirty Nelly's, of course, in Palatine. Stage 119 is in
Elmhurst.
And that is Friday, April 25th. And then we are bridge concert at Rivers Casino, which looks like a big gig, I guess. We used to play there. We had a residency there. And then when they took out the cube, they built this big whatever. Never even seen it. They never asked us to come back. So we're doing something there, getting our foot back in the door over there. And then Bannerman's, you know, Friday, Saturday. And then we just wait for the summer to kick in, and it's just stupidity, 5 days a week. I call it
That's crazy.
It's just a suburban tour. We just got off of, it was probably like in the last 4 months, I was just like, I want to get through 12 planes I have to be on. We went to Greece earlier. I don't even have the month straight within the 12-month span. And it was Greece, it was Florida. We had corporate gig. Then we had the one cruise, another cruise. And then we played Vegas. And it's been quite a whirlwind. But yeah, right now we're kind of just easing into the summer, and they're just weekend gigs right now.
Nick, you are where we all aspire to be, the casino gig.
Yeah.
Is it all what it's all cracked up to be? And now the cruise?
I thought the festivals were going to be, when I was a kid, and it was always the da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. It's Tina Turner and Elvis. And I was like, man, this is so big. I'll never, the horns, all that. And then it's funny that I do it for a living, and I still get anxiety when I go to a fest and there's a band. It's anxiety. I can't relax, watch a band, because I'm just like, music, you're in tune. How's it sound? It ruined me, man. I play too much. I can't enjoy music at a festival anymore.
Wow.
But the casino is cool. We love to play that. The casinos are cool. It depends on where you play. It sounds cool, but you're just playing within the casino while people are, you know, they're gambling.
They're not paying attention.
Their social security away.
The last time I played a casino, I played to people playing slot machines.
Oh, that's what I did.
So much fun.
That or the holidays, the Hollywood casinos in Aurora and Joliet, same.
It's a weird vibe, man, because you're right. I remember the first time I played in a casino, I'm like, this is going to be awesome. And it's like playing, I'm not going to say playing a funeral wake, but it's really close to playing along those lines because nobody gives a shit. I mean, they're just
right, exactly.
thing, and you're just kind of like, hey, look at us.
The only one, all the casinos were that way. You're just there to, you know, to
Background.
have background music.
Exactly.
But Rivers Casino, that cube, that bar turned into something that was like a hub for us.
Yeah.
And it was great. Every
that kind of spoiled me, because I saw you guys a few times back when you were playing there. I was like, it was a different vibe, right? They didn't have gambling set up right there where the cube was. You guys would pack that place, man.
They had restaurants, and then they took that down to put in the slots and the off-track betting and stuff.
So we have another guy on here, right?
Where? Oh, do we?
Zach Avery.
Zach Avery.
Good afternoon.
The Zach Avery. Hey, Zach, how are you?
Is Sophie working?
Sophie is tied up. I am here. How are y'all?
Right.
Does she work for a magician or something? She's tied up waiting for the great escape?
If only it were that easy.
So Zach Avery is a part of the Black Diamond Sessions. He is one of our lead guitar players and singers, and a super talented young man, and always an honor to share the stage with him and with Todd, of course, because Todd's a monster bass player. And now Zach Avery also has Revelator, and he's the Derrick Trucks of the band. And he also has the Zach Avery band as well. So
Zach must be pretty damn good with the slide on that guitar, man.
How'd he come up with a name for that band?
Well, it was inspired by the record that kind of kicked it all off for TTB, and that first record was called Revelator, and that won them their first Grammys. And kind of right out of the gate, they hit the ground running and never stopped. So It seemed like a very appropriate name for this tribute group.
I was talking about the Zach Avery band, but
hey, thanks. Now that we got that history out of the way. Hey, so Zach, man, Mike Dermott here. We have never met. I haven't met Todd either. Where are you from, buddy? And how long you been on the scene, man? Because your name is new to me.
Sure, yeah. So I've been living in Chicago for about a decade now, and born and raised in the Twin Cities, and started playing guitar at a real young age there, and started going to bars and clubs and sitting in with bands. My dad would drive me around when I was 13, taking me to different bars, and kind of grew from there, and came down here for the music scene and to just get a change of scenery and go to college and whatnot, and I've never put the guitar down.
So is that your full-time thing, man? Is music your life, or do you have a job outside of the music scene?
So I do have a day job. I've been working at Chicago Music Exchange in Lakeview for about 6 years now. That's the daytime gig. But I keep super busy with music, and the busier I am with music, the happier I am. So that's my introduction to Uncle Mike and Uncle Toddy here on the podcast. I met these guys pretty early on into just being a gigging musician here in the city, and they treated me more than just a peer. They treated me, as a friend really early on, and I always really appreciated that. So every time I get to play with them, whether it's in Black Diamond sessions or Revelator, it's always bittersweet for me.
Well, I asked my good buddy Nick Cox. He's the guitar player for the band Seventh Heaven to join us this evening.
It's awesome. I love your journey. I love where you're at. It's cool. It sounds like you're playing. Same with Todd. I didn't know anybody either. I just met Bongo. I met Mike, Todd, and actually Pete today. I knew Mike, and he asked me to come aboard to come on today. Yeah, I listened to you guys, and I asked Todd that as well. Like, if you got a daytime job, is this all you do is music? You guys sound really busy, and you're busy and busy. And I'm like, well, that's cool. It's got to be a lot of work, a lot of money. Cause at this point, it's what I think about is money. If you don't have a day job. But it's awesome. I started doing this. Well, Seventh Heaven's been around since 85. I joined them around 90. And I got told the guys I was in and out of bands. I had family, had jobs. And then it wasn't until it was 08. And then my boss was like, hey, we could probably do this when we started going to festivals, play music for festivals. And it took off from there. We've been doing it for 18 years now, professionally, taking care of my bills. Now I don't live, I'm at a different stage of my life. I also don't, well, actually I did it all through my whole life. I have been a musician, and it's been very interesting, but there's a lot of variables that go into that. You could either be a session guy and you're going to work. I'm so fortunate, go from one gig to the next. Like, my resume is boring. I've been in Seventh Heaven forever, and the one thing that makes this, I have to say, very successful is my boss, Rich Hofherr, who's the one, his baby child in high school. And it was a drummer, Mike Mooshey at the time, because it was Haley Comet's "We'll Be Rocking Seventh Heaven, Gonna Rock Around." And then name stuck. And he branded it, and it literally stayed Seventh Heaven the whole career because of that one thing. And Rich Hofherr eats, sleeps, and drinks. You have a guy that eats, sleeps, and drinks, his brand, and you happen to be part of it, then it's really a good thing. And that's what we've done. And I've had a lot of freedom. I could have still worked. I could have went to school. Shit, with all the colleges I've played, I probably could be a doctor right now, but I just decided to play. So I really am blessed, man, because I think about that. I'm like, how do you do that? I guess you have to hook on to something, because I can't say I'm very entrepreneurial, or I'm more of a follower. I'm not a songwriter. Every band I'm in is an original band. We just found covers to make money. So when we do original music all the time. Seventh Heaven has tons of music out there. We're writing all the time. We're recording all the time. We do our tracks. We record our own tracks, which is time consuming, but we do our own vocals and our own sounds. And when we do that, we don't have, a big band, and pisses a lot of people off, but it's been a good run for me. But it's really finding that niche of how you can do it for a living. And I'm really lucky, man, because I just followed a guy who had a vision, and now all of a sudden we have a corporation. Well, I don't, he does, and I'm just part of something really cool.
Everyone on this podcast is passionate about music, obviously, and we all do what we can to hustle hard and make money, but also fulfill that creativity in us. And there is something to be said about being the all reliable hired gun that always knows what's going on and is always paired on time, going the extra mile. If you can do that, even in a tribute group, a cover group, original music, that'll take you a lot farther than it will be to just flounder your way through music. And
that's a certain kind of player, and I look up to you guys, Todd, as well. Anyone that you can learn a set, which I would assume that you have standards and stuff depending on what you want to do, or just refreshing stuff. But a guy that can just be on call, on spot, you're always going to have a job. I didn't come from that world. And it's I look up to players that can do that. I also wasn't a big solo guy in the beginning. I see these guys with acoustics making all kinds of money, and I knew I could sing, but it's something about being alone. I need a sidekick, someone to bounce off of, and that's another has been a really cool journey, is singing. And that fire inside of me. just branching off. But yeah, that's a great talent to have, Todd and you. It's awesome.
You get to meet so many great players that
Yeah.
have a like mind, because it does take something to you're spending all your time, everybody's going out and hanging out, and you're home learning 30 songs and listening to song over and over again to catch that note that you didn't get before, and then you get to play the show, and then you play with some great players. And that's always been what I love doing, is playing with some amazing players. And Zach is great, and meeting you guys, even, being in that world, just meeting guys that have done it for a long time and know exactly what the glory is, but definitely know what the struggle is,
Nick, I'd love to hear, I mean, you've seen a lot. I mean, 40 years, that's a hell of a run there. And I'd love to talk to Rich, because I can't imagine how many times he said, fuck it, and he kept going. But there's different mile markers you hit where it's no longer like, how much money am I going to make? It's, you're just going to keep going, because you're sweating the festivals, you're making a little bit of money here and there. Maybe where Todd and Zach are.
Yeah, we play a lot. And the reason we play a lot, our
Yeah.
schedule, is because we need to make a living. I mean, shit,
Yeah.
our summer is how we make a living. It's the opposite of a teacher. I'm playing 5-6 days a week, sometimes 3 times a day. And then, then comes the corporates, then comes other, but to be able to hook up with other players, I was always impressed with, because I ran into that, and it was younger people, Mike, like the ones that would hang out with, I don't know if you know, Josh Scroll. He's in the Queen cover thing right now. It's just a bunch of musicians, and they all know each other. They can all rely on each other. And it's just like a really cool knit family, and you all make money together. As opposed to just like me, it's like you're almost forced to, when you put all your eggs in one basket, you're forced to make things work, and you're forced to make this family of 5 work, if that's what you want to tolerate. But and then there's different stages of age. Like, yeah, I'll tolerate this shit right now, and then you're like, yeah, this is cool, and you're like, nah. Can I swear on this? So you can just cut it out.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
So yeah, man, there's a lot. And then you have kids, and then I mean, there's so many branches of stuff. And then you don't have kids, and you can, it's like amazing when you take, but I've also been very, like, when we talk about people, I mean, I know people have done session work, I've done things, but I'm not really, I'm in a tight knit group where I don't know a lot of the people. Like Todd, you were talking about some of these players. I barely know and just heard of Bell. And I know he's a great player. I saw him because I'd see it at the Ori, and he play. And there's a guy, Davey Knowles, too, that's going around. That's like, and I remember that guy. I got him a show. We played in a warehouse, and a buddy of mine that owned the warehouse, the print shop, would go online and go, I love this guy, and we're having an anniversary. I want to have Davey just do an acoustic set. And Seventh Heaven, we played there as well, acoustic. And I met Davey. This was like 10 years ago, and now he's finally doing his thing. It's definitely a hustle, man. It just depends on, and as I get older, it's working smarter. I don't want to work that hard anymore. So it's good right now. I'm in a great spot. Knock on wood. That's today, my fellow musicians.
No shit.
Tomorrow's another day. That's awesome, because I clam up. Like if somebody goes, Mike, if we're in a room and we're jamming, I'm really well if I'm versed on what I need to do. And because I can sing doesn't mean I should sing everything. So I'll walk in a bar and it's a fear when people are like, you want to come up?
Yeah, I hate
play
that.
a session.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't care how my strap is. I don't care what it is, man. Let's do this. And I'm like, dude, if this shit ain't, and I got ADD, if this shit ain't right, I suck. That's my personal little problem. So I have a lot of credit with guys that do that gigging and can do the work and stuff like that.
And I agree, man. You guys learning all these songs, like, Todd, you're learning this stuff for Nick Bell, and it scares the shit out of me when someone says, hey, listen, you want to come up and do a few songs? Here's the 5 songs we want you to learn. I'm like,
yeah,
dude, that's a lot of pressure for me. I like kind of working my way into my gig, but and I'm just a singer. I mean, I'm not playing. I got guitars on the wall just for show. I'm not playing that stuff on stage, and you're up there, you're learning. And I was saying just the blues, but I mean, you're learning all of that music. And again, you take a guy like Nick Bell, he's not going to play it the way the album is. And that's cool. I mean, that's great. That's what I love about Nick. He gives you freedom to breathe. you got to learn the song and then be able to adapt on the fly. Dude, I would panic. That's like asking me to try to rap. I can hardly get a sentence out.
Well, it's interesting. I like flying without a net type of thing. It's, I'm not a very, I don't take a lot of risks. I'm not jumping out of airplanes and shit like that.
Good.
But I, when we do the soundtracks, most people have sheet music in front of them, right? Yeah. And so we're playing at the Rouse Center for 500 people, and people have sheet music. And so there's the comfort there. And I always learn it, by memory, because one, I always believe you're supposed to give a performance too. You're not supposed to just, doing a tribute, just playing the music. But I've always enjoyed that. But, one of the things, about Zach does the same thing. I mean, with Zach, every time we've gone and learned stuff, Zach knows this stuff. He learns it. And Zach is so versatile. It could be a country song. It could be a dead song. It could be he could rock out. Blues, he funks like hell. He's from Minnesota, so he's got that funk in him. And Zach, so that's the thing. And when you connect with those type of players, it's really kind of special because it's like, okay, we're going to learn this song, and it's like, well, he's got it.
As a bass player and a guitar player, for sure, because especially if you grew up being able to improvise, you just jam. Harder with vocals though, for me, because maybe there are guys that can do that. That's not my forte. But guitar, what key are you in? Let's do this. I can figure it out. Unless it's a certain song, but I'm talking more like Bell, because I would assume it's just like he's doing. Is Nick Bell also? Does he do original
covers?
Just
covers.
No, yeah, he's always done covers. I don't think
rock blues covers. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, cool. Yeah, and he's a great, and he improvises everything when he plays. So,
dude, and he's got a good look. I mean, I don't mind when another guy's good looking.
I hate him because of his look.
Sexy guy. I mean,
going on?
Yeah, he does.
If that's what you're looking for.
Well, whatever. I'm comfortable with my masculinity. So I'm going to shoot this one over to Zach. Zach, you're obviously not the oldest guy on this call, and I'm not
the youngest.
Dude, how old are you? Like 21? You look so young.
I'm 28.
That's 28 awesome. Years old, man. God bless, dude. That's awesome. How long you been playing, did you say? 13? I thought you were going into clubs?
Yeah, I started picking it up when I was about 11.
Who are some of your biggest influences, man?
Well, I grew up a big Allman Brothers fan, big, huge diehard Hendrix fan. All the classic rock stuff that my dad exposed me to, but even though my mom and dad are not musicians, they listened to a little bit of everything. That's so awesome. My mom loves country music. My dad loved old school blues and everything that sort of inspired. Right. I feel in a lot of ways I was blessed to be exposed to a really wide variety of music at a young age. And growing up in the Twin Cities, we had, of course, the King, Prince, right? The Prince of the Twin Cities. That introduced the players that I met, the mentors that I had back home, who I still keep in touch with, and I go home as often as I can, as time allows. But a lot of those guys exposed me to more funk music and a lot of more of the R&B stuff. And then moving down here to Chicago, you have that times 10 because it's a bigger city. You have a huge R&B scene in the city. Right. And, even the blues is different down here than it is up in the Twin Cities. So I've approached music as, how can I take something from everything that I hear? What kind of inspiration, what kind of lessons can I learn from just one song at a time?
What do you want to do? You just want to be a guitar player for hire for the rest of your life? Or is there you're an original guy?
Zach's written some original stuff, and his fiance Sophie has written, and that's what she does. She writes music. Okay, cool. Right now she's either writing or organizing music for some kind of TV show, I would imagine. That's why she's not here. But no, I love playing original. Derrick Procell, when we play with Derrick Procell, that's original music. Black Diamond plays some original music. So I come from a background of original music. It's just getting gigs is not that easy with original music. So
It hurts
And-
sometimes.
Yeah, it does, right? It does. But and I get hired, I get hired a lot. People who are getting gigs, and that's usually covers. So it is what it is. But but Zach actually.
Well, I mean, the passion. What feeds the passion is what I'm. I mean, obviously, Todd. No offense, you're a little older than Zach, right? Right?
Yeah.
How old?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, and if he's 28, man, I mean,
I'm 31.
You're 30.
Damn.
No,
I
are
just
you?
turned 35. That's awesome, man.
Get the hell, yeah, right. Oh shit. All right, great talking to you guys. I'll see you later.
Give up cigarettes.
Yeah.
You should take the hat off next.
Yeah.
He's got a hat on. God damn it.
Yeah.
The passion, especially for Zach, because obviously you're 28, you're younger. Like, I mean, you're with your parents and growing up and just loving music. I get it. You just love it. Is your passion to be, and obviously it's a jam band with your Allman Brothers. So, I mean, is any of your goal? I know you said right. Is the goal, and your fiance, is your goal like to be an original artist?
At least for me, I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, the idea of a successful music career is one that is multifaceted. So being able to have my own original material, like Todd said, I have an EP that we recorded live and mixed and mastered and filmed as a live performance. And that's on streaming services. That's on Apple Music, YouTube, all that. We did that last year.
Those are good links.
And what's that?
Those are good links to have for you.
Yeah.
I have those right here too.
Yeah. Yeah. So being able to have that, but also have a mix of jobbing gigs and playing with other original artists. For me, I love being the Swiss Army knife guitar player role. I think that it kind of makes me happiest. I play with a country band pretty regularly here in the city. We've got some of the jam band stuff. We've got Revelator doing the TTB material. And then my stuff is sort of sprinkled in, not quite as frequent, but keeping busy and just keeping diverse catalog of music to play is what really makes me happy.
The thing is I get called so often, so it's hard to take a step back. I mean, I love to be able to do original projects with somebody, like I said, I just told you my May, and then there comes June, and then there comes July and August, and now all of a sudden the year is over with. I'm more of a moment guy, so whatever I'm doing in the moment. And I love a lot of the bands I play with, we improv a lot. So there is a moment of creativity that's going on. I have a jazz background, although I don't really play jazz today. It's not really my thing, but I have a jazz background. So, we'll take songs differently. Zach, we'll take a song, we'll play the song, for 6 months. And then all of a sudden Zach goes, okay, stay on D. And all of a sudden we're playing that same song and it's completely different. Yeah, and then awesome. There's the creativity. And we do that a lot with the Black Diamond Band. And again, the Revelator, why I love the Revelator, there's so many different ways we can go. And I think our big song is going to be an instrumental Friday night, Passaquan. It's a great song. Zach kills on it. And it's just it's a song where we could just stretch out on and do what we want.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Well, and the cool thing about doing this Tedeschi Trucks tribute is that there's so many versions of all these songs, and they're so well documented in a lot of cases. So it's not like we're just copying and pasting. All right, we're going to do all of the Revelator album, then we'll do, the next one. It's like, no, this version from this date at this live concert, that's the version of this song we're doing. All right, the studio version of this song sounds best in our context. Let's do the studio version of that. So we can cherry pick from a lot of different, things that TTB has brought to the table.
So I know that, and I've seen Tedeschi Trucks Band, I don't know, 20 times or something over the years. And I know that they do a lot of cover songs. So it's not uncommon to go to one of their shows and you're going to hear Walk on Gilded Splinters, or you're going to hear, a Grateful Dead song, or you're going to hear an Allman Brothers song. Have you guys, when you're constructing the set for this Friday, have you guys selected any cover songs that you're going to be doing?
There is one cover that we'll be doing. In the future, as this thing keeps rolling on, we'll be spicing up the set list, swapping out songs for other ones. The only cover that we're doing this Friday is going to be Keep On Growing,
And-
Derrick Dominoes.
An Angel from Montgomery.
Thank you, Angel from
Yeah.
Montgomery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a big one for Tedeschi Trucks, but it's a cover song.
Can you point to any particular times? Now, this is more of a Rich question, but I'm asking you. You've been around 40 years. Did you see like certain? It's like running a marathon. A while you got to break through to get to the next level. Instead of saying quit, you know what? I'm going to go back out. What are the different levels that you had to get through in your career with Seventh Heaven?
If you think about it, if you're going to be with a band, the same dudes more or less for 40 years, I would say every 10 years something different's going to happen. You're going to have, you're going to work that 10 years up into the pinnacle of where you're at, and then you're going to either reinvent yourself, or you're just going to staying on whatever plateau you're on. That's a good question. It's my level now is reflection and just really grateful. But back in the day, it's really, and I never had the attitude. That's why I ask you guys, and I don't know about Mike or anybody, Mike, I never really thought that I was never into playing music to be like this rock star, make millions of dollars. I truly just loved at 13, this guitar or this instrument. And I learned to play it, and I just kept learning. Unorthodox, my own way. I don't know how to read notes. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. It's all ear. I gratefully have a good ear. At least I think so. That just kept me driving. And then it was like whoever you play with, like you guys, even the minimum people I did play with, it's absolutely who you play with. All you touch, all you see is all your life is ever going to be. The more people you play with, the better you're going to be. I remember when I was younger, and Todd, how old are you, man?
Old enough.
Old
enough. I've been around.
Okay. Well,
I've been around.
I mean, my journey is way different, and it was always passion for the instrument. Yeah. And man, not big time, but who can I play with that'll better me next, And then you sort of get caught in this, because I've been with the same band, and then you do these monumental things or whatever at a time. For us, it was when Facebook first came out. It was about 2 years in. When I joined, it was 2008. So in 2010, Facebook was different, and we won a competition to open up for Bon Jovi at Soldier Field, actually open up for Kid Rock. And then there was Bon Jovi, and I forgot who, but anyway, it was a great contest. It was maybe 60,000 people when Bon Jovi played. I think when we went on, and, the stage is this big, and they gave us that much, and like 35 minutes went like that. But it was really an awesome feeling. And then a lot of perception ran with that. And then marketing and promoting and using everything to make you look like, and what you're doing is the biggest and best thing that's ever freaking happened. And you want to be part of it.
What's interesting about that, though, I was there for part of the journey watching Seventh Heaven, right? Because the band I was in at the time was managed by Richie and TD.
Yeah.
And as I'm listening, I listen to the question and I listen to you answer it. The one thing, there's many things that Richie brings to his projects, but the one thing is that perseverance, right? When you look at what happened with your lead singers, and you guys went through a period of time that you changed lead singers, and I mean, they were devastating in their own right when those singers left. You guys could have cashed it in. When Semple left Seventh Heaven, it was like, how do you replace Keith Semple? Richie, right away, he goes out and he finds another cat from Europe, brings him over here. Yeah. That didn't work out. And then you guys find Adam, and you've had a great run with Adam. I think that, the dedication that you yourself, because I mean, let's face it, you could have stopped at any time. You said, you know what, this isn't going to work. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, because I think that's important.
Well, you also got to remember, I've been living a great life because of this name and this company. Then all of a sudden I got to get another job.
Yeah.
So when you have everybody making good money, why, I can only see if it was Bon Jovi or let's say it was $1 million band. We'd be talking through lawyers most of the time. It's a family. You have to keep it together. Do I want to make my measly, X amount of money every year? But for my lifestyle, it's amazing. It's living. It's not living. And you know what? That is interesting. And that was all Rich. That's my boss, Zach and Todd. I don't know if you know Rich Hofherr, but He's just watched the scene. If it was graphics and somebody screwed it up, he learned how to do graphics. If it was video and somebody screwed up video, he learned how to do video. If it was everything, if his booking and the booking agent wasn't doing it right, he knew that it was unfair, he would become his booking agent. If he wasn't being treated fairly at festivals, he was going to create his own festivals. And that's what he did. And I was like, okay. I mean, we don't always look like great people. We look like assholes at times, but that's the business. That's what you got to do.
It's always a conflict between business and the creative side, right?
Well, yeah, no, Mike, I'll be totally honest with you guys. Creativity is like when we say Zach and Todd. Now I have, every time I play and I know I'm going to do Uptown Funk, or I know I'm going to do some originals or some random Oxygen from some Lincoln Brewster artist that my boss loved in Europe that nobody's ever heard of, but he likes to play. I always look at everything I do as an original song. I sing my vocals nothing like the originals, and I'm a belter kind of guy. It's almost annoying. I make everything my own when I do it. I can't be in a band where they go, you got to tone it down a little bit, and you got to be cool, easy. My drummer is just like, and we're doing just the way you are from Bruno Mars. Just we overplay everything. We enjoy what we do. And it's just what I learned at this stage is I try not to take myself too seriously anymore. I don't have anybody to impress. I love what I do, and that's the good thing to reflect. Just make sure you love what the hell you're doing, and it kind of came natural. Doing it, but then the Bon Jovi and then singers. That's a good point. We had Tony DiGiulio, original high school singer, not me, those guys. And we did so much he had throat problems because we would write all kinds of music, and F sharp minor and F minor and in D minor, and everybody's just A and E. We're doing different keys and the melodies were really cool. Tony did that, but then Tony lost his voice. Then we literally, Rich, it's his business, my boss, he found Semple overseas. He got this guy. He was in some boy pop band thing. He loved Def Leppard. He loved what we were into, what we were trying to do. He brought him here on a visa, and we had him for 7 years. And he carried us. That's who we went to Bon Jovi with. He had a really cute accent. Perception. You have to really be able to sell yourself. And
how many bands does Rich manage?
At one time, when he was doing the festivals, he really wanted to help the scene. And the scene is a brutal, angry, asshole-ish place. So he finally realized I need to focus more on my lane and my people and stop helping other people because it's not working. So he manages still Serendipity, which is an all-girls band. We've had them for years. And they're growing up. They're growing up. They were young. They were really, I really don't know where they are now. Like I said, my vision is here, and I'm pretty much told where to go. I'm supposed to go, and it's really kind of casual. Like Rich has a studio in his house. I'm supposed to go there sometime Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and then we just record all night. And he gets the vocals he needs. We've been recording right now a lot of the old stuff because we're at 40 years. He wants to go what songs really worked back then that we don't do anymore, and he's trying to bring new life with singers. And I'm doing the songs now that old singers did, and that's what we've been trying to just kind of hash back on in 40 years and appreciating everything.
Doesn't everybody here have to go through that process? You can be creative and, do your own stuff, but if nobody shows up, you don't make any money, you can't pay the band, you don't get booked again, and you're kind of fucked. Doesn't everybody have to go through that? Eventually somebody's got to sell out somewhere.
You kind of hit the nail on the head. It's not, I don't think it's really selling out if you enjoy it. And that kind of goes back to the point of like, if you love what you're doing and you have a diverse body of work that you're constantly plugging away at and hustling a little bit here, a little bit there, X amount of time dedicated for this, X amount of time dedicated for that, as long as you keep those irons in the fire, you win some, you lose some, but if you're always working and always happy, you'll be in good shape.
Absolutely.
How do you keep 5 or 6 band members happy? You have 5 different.
There's that. I think out of all the bands, a lot of bands that I play with, very easygoing people. I think it's the Black Diamond where somehow the band that I'm most involved in with personnel, that seems to be the craziest to me.
Well,
we got
but to be fair, you got a lot of people in other bands, and it's hard to get them together.
Right.
And one
And,
band's making more money than the other band, so screw that band. And
Well,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
it's-
even that. It's not even that. It's just. I think everybody
It's
has
always
like
that.
ADD, so nobody's really focused. I mean, our rehearsals are kind of, I play in rehearsals. We'll go through 15, 16. If we could go through 3 or 4 songs, or at least one song without 9 different conversations happening, it's crazy.
I'm gonna blame it on Blake.
Blake.
Well, we can
Blake's
blame
fault.
everything on Blake.
But it's true, and we'll get out and play a gig. I mean, I know, Nick and Mike Dermott and Pete haven't seen the Black Diamond sessions, but I would venture to say you come out and see the Black Diamond sessions, you'll be blown away.
And you would make you sit in. So.
I've heard great things. I really have.
I make you sit in.
I keep telling Bongo I need to show up to one of these things, and no, I'm not going to sit in. I'm not that on the spot guy because I work
come on,
my
Mike. You
iPad or
can
my
sit
lyrics there, man.
You can sit in anytime, Mike.
Yeah, anytime.
Just sit in.
Camaraderie.
I'll
Camaraderie.
physically sit in. Just sit. That's all I'm going to do.
Well,
piggybacking off of what Todd said a second ago, is of course I'm joking when I say the only way to keep them happy is to pay them. Of course that's a joke, but going back to what Todd says, being able to keep everyone happy is by accepting input from everybody, because that's where the big ideas come from. And even if they're crappy ideas, they usually lead to something good. And just keeping that open dialogue environment intact goes a long way.
How do you tell somebody their idea is crappy, Zach? I was never good at that. How do you do it?
It usually starts with, all right, that's a great idea. Here's what we're going to do instead.
right.
No,
I do know people that will just say, "Yeah, that sucked. We're not doing that."
I mean, it depends on how close you are with those guys and those people and their feelings and how they are with how you can talk to them.
I play with Zach and Sophie in the Revelator and also in Zach's band. So when we're in Zach's band, Sophie has a lot of ideas and she hears everything. She's got the best there. Like, she's got relative perfect pitch. So if you play one wrong note, she's got it. Every wrong note, she'll look at. Yeah, she gives you that look. So
that's your fiance, right, Zach? You said that's your fiance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's never gotten that look.
By chance, do you cook? Do you do the cooking in the relationship?
So
you know what? I do the cooking in our relationship.
What the fuck is this? Did you put sage in there and not thyme?
You left a bay leaf in.
You know what? You need a leader. You need somebody to grab it, take hold of what you're doing.
in Zach's band, he's the leader, so she'll come up with an idea and say, "Zach, you should play the chord like this," and he goes, "No, I'm playing it like this," and that's how
a great
it goes.
relationship. It is a relationship.
In the Revelator, though, she's taking more of a lead because she's the lead vocalist, so it turns around a little bit, right? Like the other day, she's like, "Zach, you got some reverb on that guitar?" Zach goes, "No, it sounds great like this." She goes, "No, I think we need reverb on it." He goes, "No, it sounds great on it." She goes, "No, let's just try with some reverb." Like, she wouldn't stop. She finally tries the reverb. She looks at me, gives me this big smile because she knew she was right. Zach's playing, because I guess it'll work.
Have you ever played First Avenue?
I have played the downstairs room of First Avenue, which is called 7th Street Entry.
And second question, have you gone through Paisley Park?
No, the ticket prices are too high.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Too expensive. I love Prince, and I'll go someday. But also, when I was living at home for that period of time when he died, that wasn't out yet. And then by the time they got that operation up and running, you look at ticket prices, and I was like, yeah.
What's it cost?
Full tour, you're talking over $100 a ticket.
I don't know, man. I think I would do it. $100 doesn't sound like that much money. Maybe I'm just a snob, but I mean,
you're a big shooter.
That'd be a cool experience, though, man.
But is Prince the greatest musician to come out of Minnesota besides yourself, Zach? That's all I want to know.
Who was the other guy?
Prince
Other than Zach and Prince, who was that third guy?
Soul Asylum, I don't know.
No comparison. Prince is far better than I. This Friday at the Lyric Theater in Blue Island, Revelator's debut full show. got 21 songs of Tedeschi Trucks tribute magic happening. We've got some really incredible musicians on stage, including Todd himself on this call. And doors are at 7, shows at 8. We are very, very excited for it.
It's a really neat theater too. If you guys have never been to the Lyric in Blue Island, it is a top shelf venue.
Who's running that? That's not an Onesti place, right? Is that a different?
No meatballs.
No meatballs.
No meatballs. No meatballs for you
No
guys.
balls.
Yeah.
No
Pizza. You get pizza though. Beggar's Pizza.
Yeah, you get Beggar's Pizza. Beggar's Pizza is that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Bongo, what do you got going on?
I got the Mosquitos on Saturday night at Sundance Saloon. We're opening for Dead Fest.
There you go.
And I may have to come out to the show on Friday. I may have to do that.
You gotta
it's
come.
kind of on my list, you know.
You gotta sell tickets, so you gotta come. I put you on the list, but I got.
I'll buy the damn ticket. I don't care.
He sold that ether, and now he's got to sell the tickets, man. He's got to come through on this one.
Yeah. You got to come through. Got to come through. Yeah.
Mr. Cox, you talked about your shows earlier, but what go through it again.
I mean, you can always go to seventhheavenband.com tour, and it's got all of our schedule. We have that's interesting to me. Well, the upcoming shows is this Friday at Dirty Nelly's in Palatine, then Saturday the 19th Base Camp, and then the cool one that I'm looking forward to is, I mean, I look forward to them all, but you know, is this the Rivers Casino, the one we're doing on a Saturday night, April 26th.
I'm looking for
that's a bridge concert charity event.
What's the date on that one, Nick?
April 26th at the Rivers Casino.
If they got the craps table at $15, give me a call, Nick.
Nick, do you need it? Do you need a roadie that night?
Do you know how to tune a guitar?
I do.
Tuna fish.
You tune a fish?
I do. REO Speedwagon. The funny thing about Seventh Heaven, they don't need roadies. They have roadies. I mean,
it's like a whole production.
It's a whole entourage.
Yeah.
They pay them.
I would love to see you guys play. I really would like to. Mike, did you say a Sunday at the Sundance Saloon?
I'm on Saturday, 7 to 9 o'clock. We're opening for Dead Fest.
Okay, cool.
That's the Mosquitos, and then Black Diamond Sessions. Our next show is at the Toadstool Pub in Highwood, and that's Todd the 25th, right? The 25th
I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I think it's an afternoon thing too.
Yeah. Do we ask Zach?
No, you didn't. Should I know about that date?
Yeah. Are you free on the 25th?
Of what? April or May?
May.
Having a band calendar is so.
I love it.
It's tough. It's a lot. It's a lot of moving parts.
When you're in 20 bands, it's hard to have band calendars.
Yes, it's not easy. Not easy.
Wow, I have anxiety just listening.
I know, right?
I have a guy that emails me the link to where we're at on Friday afternoon. I'm like, awesome.
Hey Nick, I got a great story for you. A couple of years ago, the Mosquitos opened for you guys at Mount Prospect, and you had your video screens up on the stage, and you came up to us and you're like, hey, you guys got any visuals you want to put on the screen? And one of your audio visual guys ended up putting a ginormous mosquito on the screen for us. I don't know if you remember that, but it was pretty cool.
Was it outdoor? Was it a 4th of July thing or a club? Was it
it was a 4th of July, the Mount Prospect Mellis Park. Yeah, it's maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Dude, I don't remember. You know what? That's our crew. A lot of times with our screens, they always go up and ask, what's your name? Let's put your name on the screen. So
they did it.
We really try to help people out, man.
Yep,
we actually had Dino on here a few weeks ago, Nick, and we were talking about that. I know we're trying to wrap the show up, but just how gracious the entire Seventh Heaven entourage is, right? I think a lot of people have a misconception. If they don't know you guys, they think of, this big band that, brings hundreds, thousands of people into the venue. But you guys are the most down to earth group of people I think that are out there. And I mean, that's from Richie throughout the entire production.
I appreciate it, and you got to stay humble, and I do appreciate it. I never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing.
Right.
You gotta and try to pass it along. What can we what can we do to help? You know,
Yeah.
there's plenty of room. There's plenty of money. There's plenty of room. Just, you know, don't be greedy. Most people that are in charge, we're good.
And there's enough bad actors to be bad actors. Be a good actor.
Absolutely. No, but I have high class problems because I would love to see all of you guys, but unfortunately, I'm working.
Right.
That's
I know how that goes.
Thing.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
I just don't show up.
you show up. I've seen you at a couple. You've come to a couple Coterie events.
I do a podcast. I just.
When's your next gig, Mike?
My next gig?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'm grocery shopping. Well, actually, this weekend I'm going down to Florida, spend some time with my dad. He's having a small procedure, so we're leaving on Wednesday, and I'll be gone for the weekend. Because I'm not in a band anymore, you know, I'm doing the Coterie thing, and every now and then I'll do other things. I don't have an event until the fall. We're going to do the next Coterie event. Looks like it's going to be September 28th, but then shortly thereafter in October, there's going to be a Friction reunion. So the guys in the band Friction have decided we're going to do a show, which we haven't played together in, I think, 5 years. So we're going to dust off the old 80s and 70s.
Don't even dust it. Just go.
Just go. Just freaking go.
Do.
Yeah.
Zach, where do we point people to find out more about the Zach Avery Band, my friend?
You can point people to zachaveryband.com. That is my website. That's got all my gig information, and it also has all the dates that I play with other people. So I keep my master gig list calendar on my website, and that's got videos, photos, etc., as well as some of the Revelator stuff. Which reminds me, revelatortribute.com is where you can find more information and videos and photos and upcoming shows for
Put it up here.
Revelator.
You're an organized
put it up
there,
somewhere. Put it
Zach
up
Avery.
somewhere.
Good job.
Well spent $35. And then Nick, is it the number 7 or you spell out the 7?
It's 7. It's 7 THEAVEN band.com. Yeah.
I'm sure Rich has got all the other URLs too. Todd, you got anything else you want to show?
Well, I think at the top of the show, I don't
We're
know
at the bottom. Go ahead, rock them out.
Okay, all right. So this week, obviously, I'm going to say it again because we have to sell tickets. So how many people listen to this? About 3 or 4 people? So
6.
6?
Well, I know 6 for sure.
Well, we could definitely have more than 6 tickets, but the 6 people listening to this, please go buy tickets. And then after that, playing with the Soul Commitments on the 2nd, playing at Boat Drinks on the 10th of May with Somatic, 17th at the Rouse Center with Derrick Procell.
Todd, give me the URLs. Where am I going to point them to? What website?
I have
Facebook?
no idea. Yeah, Facebook. Facebook's good enough.
All right, which one?
We'll put them up here.
There's like 3,000 bands. I don't.
You know what I love about
wait,
this?
but
you ask Zach. Zach's organized. He's like, this is how you do it.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Us
I can
old
tell
guys are like,
Zach's
well,
28.
you take a left on First Street.
Yeah.
and
I
you
can
walk-
tell Zach is 28. I can tell Zach's 28.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I can't
he's
believe
gotta
I'm
be-
with these old
But I
folks.
do want to plug Zach's show because he didn't plug his own show on
Yeah,
May
Zach.
23rd. May 23rd at the House of Blues.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so
House of Blues.
Mr. Organization.
He's
Yeah.
humble.
Tell us
He's
about your
nothing
gig.
wrong with being a little humble.
absolutely.
And Zach, when you see Zach's a monster guitar player.
Can't wait to
I
see
mean,
Zach.
he rips, really, he does. And I've known Zach now. I don't know how many years, 5 years, 6 years. I don't know how long,
6 years.
Zach,
whatever it is. And
Todd-
I've seen the progression of it. It's been amazing, really has been.
Todd just said that, Zach. What song am I going to play now? What's your walk up?
Yeah, what's your go-to song, buddy?
Jeez. All right. How about Come See About Me? Tedeschi
Come See
Trucks.
About Me. All right, which
We're
can
in
be
the
found
spirit
on
of it.
YouTube,
Let's
I'm
do it.
sure. Nick, what about you, man?
Like a Seventh Heaven song?
Or Nick Cox song, whatever.
Are you Seventh Heaven? We could do It's Monster. That's my vocals and a little heavier,
All right,
kind of a heavier
Yeah.
side of a
Monster.
Monster. Yeah.
Monster.
song.
Okay.
I would say, Pete, look up the Revelator, the TTB tribute, and either Midnight in Harlem or Gravity or Part of Me. And Zach slays on all 3 of those songs. So he slays.
We
He's
just
a
got
slayer.
we got 3
Yeah.
new videos on the website, on social media, on YouTube. Leading
Zach
up
gets it.
to-
Yeah.
He's there, man. This
He's
kid's
there.
He's got
Trying
it.
to keep this party.
What's the URL again? What is that URL again?
SUK
The Earl.
MY.
Urinal? What's your urinal?
What's my chart
urinal?
password?
Oh, we've come a long way from MySpace, huh?
That's a
MySpace
real
to
long way. We need to go back
MySpace
to
my
MySpace.
chart.
Nick, hey man, thanks for coming on. You're awesome. You got an open
thanks.
invite, man.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I don't know anything. I didn't know anyone, but this is awesome to meet you guys. And maybe
it's
one
nice
day when
meeting
I'm not
you.
in this band all the time, I can go and jam with like freelance with other great players. That's what it's all about, right?
I will definitely try to check your show out. Just come up and say hello when
That'd be great.
I get a free day.
It's my pleasure to
Definitely.
be here, guys.
Boys,
Thanks
have
for
a
meeting
great
you.
Monday night. Thanks for coming on the show.